Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going? Ooh, got stuff popping up already. Oh, clicking the wrong things. Welcome to Forged with Fire. My name is Spencer Ray. This is a place where we talk about life, lessons, and leadership for men. At least we try to, anyway. Learn from my mistakes. A little bit different setup this morning. Didn't get my good camera set up, so we're on the webcam today. This is fun. So it's been a busy couple weeks. Didn't get a podcast up last week, mainly because I was actually back in the office for the first time in a year instead of being here working from home, out in the sunroom in the studio here. So yeah, didn't get a chance to do a podcast last week, and was also doing a lot of preparations, a lot of work getting ready for the Stronger Men's Conference at James River Church here in Southwest Missouri. I was fortunate enough to get to be a part of the production team. I was able to be the online producer for all of the online specific content that was going on live while other things were happening in the room, so that we could interact, personally with guys that were watching online. It was a blast. Great couple guys got to work with. Pastors Justin Johanser, Pastor Tyler Binkley, and Pastor Josh Hackworth. Great guys to work with. We had a blast, had a fun time. The Wheel of Misfortune was amazing. If you've never seen a guy drink a Coke through a sock, yeah, it was a blast. It was pretty fun. But yeah, life's pretty busy, so didn't get a podcast up last week. Didn't get any content really ready for this week, just because it's been such a busy weekend. Ended up online producing again yesterday at church, so it's great. I enjoy doing that. It's a blast. So yeah, so I'm just here, just kind of, I don't know, just here. Didn't know if there'd be anybody on this morning that would actually jump on and want to chat or do anything. But a lot of good stuff happened at the Stronger Men's Conference. A lot of great messages for guys, for dads, for men, no matter where they're at in life. Like I said, whether it be high school, college, single, married, looking at careers, getting close to retirement, passing on knowledge and things to the next generation, overcoming things from the previous generation that may have affected your life. So it was really some really great content, some really great speakers. So it was really good. So if you don't have, just going to say this, put it out there. If you don't have a home church, find a home church. If there's not one local, look up James River Church, jamesriver.church on the web, or jamesriver.tv, I believe what it is. We have an online campus that we can connect with you. We do live hosting before and after service, specifically for the online community, so that they to really connect with them and make them feel like they're part of the church, because they are a part of the church. We don't want them to feel left out just because they're not physically in a building. So we have a lot of fun doing that. But had some great stuff happen this weekend. Huge opener, like they always do with the conference. Just to pass on a little bit, just to kind of maybe interest somebody that might be listening. It went from under the big top, dude basically spinning probably a 12-foot log on fire on each end, spinning it on his back, on his face. It was pretty good. Started there, went to Captain America, had military guys rappelling from the ceilings and firing guns. There was explosions, to Evel Knievel, and a little bit of Led Zeppelin going on. It was a blast, and then just a great opener that was specifically made. Some manly stuff with some, I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's one of the students at the college at the church. His name is Mike Wan. Great guy. The dude's got talent. He did the opening musical number as part of the opener, and great. He can rap. I'll just put it that way. The dude's good. So he's going to change the world, and that's great. But yeah, got through the opener. Had some great speakers. Pastor Rich Wilkerson Jr. from VU Church down in Florida. Levi Lusko from Fresh Life Church up in Montana. And Tim Timberlake. I cannot remember what church he's from. But man, that dude brought some fire. One of the big things that really, I'll just talk about what kind of hit me this weekend. So maybe this will help somebody else. Tim Timberlake, great speaker, great communicator. Started out kind of quiet, so I was a little, I don't know. When you come to a men's conference, we usually expect, big, guys to be loud right off the bat, getting everybody fired up, really speaking into your life. But he started out very quiet, and just you can feel it's like it's like starting a fire with a slow burn. You just you start and you get that little bit of burn going, and you get the little kindling and the sticks going, and then all of a sudden it starts gaining momentum and bigger and bigger and bigger. And man, it was on fire by the time he was done. But the one, I'm gonna pull this up here so I can read this statement right. He was talking about wounds. Every guy has a wound. It doesn't matter who you are. Something somewhere in life has wounded you, caused you to question, what do you have left? What do I have to offer? Is this really worth it? Can I keep going? But one of the big statements he made that really hit me, because this is where, on my bad days, this is where I feel, especially with stuff like this, with this podcast, and some of the other stuff that I'm doing to just try to help people. It doesn't feel like anything's happening. It doesn't feel like there's any momentum picking up, but I feel like I got to keep going, because one of these days it's going to help somebody, hopefully. But one of the big things he said, that really kind of everything was pointing toward, he was talking about the wounds, and he talked about a group, and I'll just kind of hit this too, so it's a little more in context. Talked about a group that was mentioned in the Bible, in Judges, the book of Judges, chapter 20, verse 14. It talked about 700 warriors that had been chosen that were left-handed, and they were known to be able to hit a horse's hair at 40 yards. They would take like a horse hair and hang it from a tree limb with a rock on the bottom, so that it was nice and tight. And these guys were known to be able to hit that horse's hair at 40 yards with a slingshot. Now, I'm not talking like the pullback slingshot that you'd see like on Little Rascals or something like that, but the kind that you spin around your head and throw the rock. But what really stuck out was, he said when he was reading it mentioned that they were left-handed. And this is really about the only time in the Bible that they talk about left or right-handed people. So it really kind of stuck out to him. And so he did some research and found out that in the Jewish and Hebrew culture at that time, the reason they were pointed out as left-handed was because they had no longer had the ability to use their right arm or their right hand. These were guys that had been injured in battle, injured in life, to where they had either lost their right hand, their right arm, or had lost complete function of that right arm that was dominant in their culture. And they had learned through consistency and training and just fighting, they had learned how to use their left hand and became masters of what they were asked to do, which was, use those slingshots, and they were experts. But so this all pointed into, we're talking about having wounds, and a lot of times we lick our wounds and just go home. We take our ball and go home when we get hurt. but some of us want to stay in the fight and keep going even when we're hurt. And as you're healing up and continuing to fight, um, the big thing that it hit me right in the gut, especially because, like I said, we've been doing this podcast for a little over 3 months, once a week. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't feel like there's it getting much traction. Yeah, we have friends and family that are supporting us and patting us on the back, telling us to keep going. They watch the content, but the big thing he pointed out was, and I'm going to read his statement because I wrote it down word for word. He said, "Be determined to be better with what you've got left than what you had and lost." So basically, whatever you've got left, no matter how big or how small, you know, steel yourself up, be determined to be better and more successful, and be better. I mean, there's no other way to really put it. To be better with what you've got left, even if it's not much. Be determined to be better with what you've got left than what you originally had and lost before you got wounded. So, whether it was, something going on at home, whether you've lost a marriage, whether you've been alienated from your kids, whether you had a great career and something major happened and wrecked the possibility of having a good career from there on out, with that company, whether you went to church and got hurt by somebody at church, which I'll be straight with you, it's happened to me, it's happened to my family, but there's no such thing as a perfect church. There's no such thing as perfect people. Only one person ever in history was perfect, and his name was Jesus Christ. And guess what? I'm not him, and neither are you. So, it's everybody gets hurt. Everybody's got a wound. So what are you going to do? Do you want to fight? Or do you want to go home? Do you want to give up and let the enemy win? Or do you want to stay in the battle? It's another thing he said. I want to bring this out too, because maybe this one will give somebody hope. It certainly did me. He said that struggle, fighting, struggle is the proof that you have not been overtaken by the enemy and you have not given up. So just think about that for a second. Struggle is the proof that you have not been beaten, that the enemy hasn't beat you, whatever your enemy is. Whether it's, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, if it's something spiritual, if you're not, if it's alcohol, drugs, anger, something that you struggle with on a regular basis, depression, anxiety. The struggle, continuing to struggle and fight is proof that you have not given up and you have not been overtaken by the enemy. So are you going to keep fighting? Are you going to take your ball and go home? It's a pretty simple thing. So yeah, I don't know. I had a feel that I didn't get a chance to put anything together, but got to hear a lot of good stuff this weekend. I wanted to share that one because I've been there. I've been there recently, just because I've got this financial coaching certification that I want to get a business rolling with, but I can't seem to get any clients. I enjoy doing this podcast, getting on here and talking, and nobody really watches or talks back. I get views on YouTube when I post the videos, and this isn't a pity. Hey, please, yes, please follow and like and share, but this isn't a please follow me out of pity. Please do this out of pity, just so that I can get better numbers. But we've all got stuff to fight against, and I've been fighting with that. Do I keep doing this? Do I keep fighting, or do I just stop and figure out something else to do, that might make a difference? And The words that I heard and what I felt was spoken to me. Um, it says, no, it's not time to quit fighting yet. It's not time to change direction. It's time to just keep going. Keep going when you're going. It'll happen in the right time. So, guys, keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't don't stop. Love those around you. If you're married, love your wife. If you have kids, love your kids. Be a dad. Be a husband. Be a father. If you're not, still be a friend. There are people in your lives that need you. They need you to be strong. They need you to fight for them. So stand up, do the right thing. Don't give up. Don't quit fighting. If you're struggling, guess what? You haven't given up yet. So don't give up. Don't quit struggling. Keep going. So, but that's it. We're going to keep working on content. I may end up, with the way that they're getting ready to set up our office rotation. Well, I'm in the office every 3 weeks. We might slow down a little bit on the podcasts and content. Instead of once a week, it might be every other week, or we might hit 2 weeks in a row and then take a few weeks off, obviously. Or I may end up backing it up even farther, just depending on how things are going. But I'm not giving up. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep fighting. Going to keep going. And hopefully it helps somebody out. So just keep on a lookout. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's about all I've got for today. I know it's kind of short and sweet. Didn't really have time to watch any sports or get anything there. Like I said, last week was a really busy, crazy week, and just didn't have much time to do anything. So, but yeah, I'd appreciate it if you'd give us a like and a follow or a share on Instagram. We're forged.with.fire. Facebook, YouTube. Forged with Fire. Here on Twitch, I am Fire Squasher 357. If you have any questions, comments, topics you'd like to hear me just blab on about or talk about, or questions about what I've screwed up on or what you're facing, and if I've ever faced anything about it, you can send me an email. ForgedWithFireOnline, one word, ForgedWithFireOnline@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know what you're dealing with, what you have questions about. If I don't have an answer, I know where I can get answers, and we can talk about it. So I really appreciate everybody that does support, everybody that does watch, everybody that listens, that shares and likes. Keep going. Don't give up. You got this. And you know what? We'll see you soon. Let me know if you need anything. Love you guys.